Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It's like you can hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up. Let's get politics out the way. Looks like the debate is indeed coming. The debate will be taking place on ABC, even though YSAP had a lot of fuss, a lot of pushback. It looked like he's been trying as hard as he can to get out of this debate. However, he knew that he couldn't really let it go. But if I was him, I would have just been like, forget it, I ain't doing it. Okay, come up with some kind of lie for the reason why I wasn't doing it, when really we know that he gonna get up there and look real stupid. And I just cannot wait for it to happen, you guys. But yes, it is going to happen. It is at the, it will be on ABC. There are some stipulations that both sides have agreed to, and they are as follows. There will be no audience, okay? The microphones will be muted when it is not the person's turn to talk. They will have no notes, no pre-written notes that they can bring into the debate. However, they will be given a piece of paper and a pen and some water, you know, for their parched throats. And if they want to take notes during the debate, they can do that, but they can't come in like prepared. This is supposed to be straight off the dome. And I was reading all these stipulations and I was like, I don't know how this helps YSAP in any kind of way, because it seems like all those stipulations are things that he is prone to do. He's always the one that overtalks somebody. He feeds off the audience, even though maybe he feels like the audience is not going to like him that much. Could that possibly be why? Maybe he doesn't want to be heckled. I mean, you don't really get heckled at debates, but you know, the audience does clap, or, you know, they do respond to some of the things that they say, and maybe he's not wanting to hear that. You know, maybe he's feeling like he won't have an audience that is listening to his side of the story. But yeah, we know that he likes to interrupt. That's the main reason why they need to have that mute button. They needed to have that back when he was running the first time with Hillary. Remember what a fucking mess that was, okay? So, yeah, they have this, and yeah, I don't know how it helps YSAP, but he seems to think that it will, I guess. And so we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to seeing the debate, only because I feel like I'm going to get a good giggle, and the bitch is in need of a good laugh, child. A good one. And again, it's not really YSAP's week. It's starting to feel like things are starting to come back at YSAP. We know that there are definitely Republicans now who are speaking out. Prominent, well-known, well-supported, well-trusted Republicans on that side are coming out and saying that YSAP has absolutely no business being in office again. You know, they had to suffer through it the first time. They had to do what they had to do. But damn it, if they can stop this shit, stop this train that we see coming, if they can do it, then they have been. So people have been speaking out. And that is much appreciated, because it starts to feel like, damn, are the Republicans so intent on, you know, having that power regardless, no matter what? Or is somebody eventually going to come out and be like, the nigga crazy, he's ruining this country, he's ruining relationships, he wants to be a dictator? Like, is anybody going to come out and say those things? Well, there are starting to be people come out and say it. It's going to be a wild, you know what, I think we got, 8-9 weeks left. It's going to be wild, y'all. It's going to be wild. So y'all hold on. Now, they did say that YSAP was also, they reinstated the charges. Remember, the case was thrown out by Judge Eileen Cannon. She's a judge in Florida. She threw out I'm sorry, you guys, I can't get the election subversion case. Remember the election case that was going on, YSAP trying to throw off the election, you know, overtake the election. That judge in Florida had threw it out. So we had special counsel Jack Smith. He has reinstated the charges, put on a little bit more apparently, and we still fixing to go back to court in September about this. Okay, so it is still moving forward. I think they were hoping that none of that would happen before the election, but yeah, no, we fixing to get it done. And I'm hoping that YSAP is convicted of even more than he's already been convicted of, because he's a fucking criminal, you guys. That's what he is. And we still pushing forward with Kamala Harris. As the other side has become more and more desperate, you know, I think that we need to just keep in mind that we need to stay the course and just make sure that we get out and vote in November, because I honestly believe that Kamala Harris, as long as everybody gets out and vote, I know that it needs to be said that people cannot feel comfortable like, okay, everybody else is voting. I get off late. I got to run to the store. I need to go to the laundromat. I need to do this. I need to do that. And, somebody else it's going to be fine. It's just this one vote. But if you get a collection of people that's thinking that exact same way, that don't go to the polls, then we will lose it. Okay, so it is very important that people need to make the plan, put in place, make sure that you get to the polls. If you cannot I'm sure they're going to have early voting. I'm sure that that's going to be offered. And if you know that you're the type of person that when it comes down to the wire, shit fall apart every single damn time, then you know what? Do it early. Okay, and free yourself from the stress and possibly, being one of those ones that might be the reason why Kamala might not find herself in that office. We cannot allow that to happen. Every day when I get up, I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens today. Okay, because I'm still waiting for some other shoe to drop. I don't know what the shoe will be, but I'm still waiting for that something to happen. Nothing has happened so far, but I just have like the sixth sense that there's still going to be something quite big between now and election day. Okay, and they are trying also, at least I know here in Georgia, they are trying to already mess up. I mean, Raffensperger just said, he's the one that's the Secretary of the State. He just said that the elections department, the elections folks here in Georgia, that it is a mess. And they're already banking, basically, I believe when I say they, I'm talking about the right. When they are already banking on the voting system to be such a mess on election day here, that they're going to be doing challenges and they're going to be asking for recounts, and they're going to do whatever they can to push. If this state, which is purple right now, if it's leaning more blue or something like that, that they are going to do whatever they can to fuck up this election and make it so that we don't know, even maybe weeks afterwards, who same shit like what happened before. Even though it did turn out to in Biden's favor, I believe that they're going to do it again this year, but 10 times worse. So folks need to be vigilant. People need to make sure that they get out and they get to voting. Okay, now I've been telling you guys this. I do not want to get on here in November and we have a different discussion. Okay, so everybody just plan accordingly. This is not a part of politics, but it's a little bit of government. So let's just talk about this. Over in California, there is a bill, apparently, to give undocumented immigrants a chance at home ownership. Okay, to the tune of $150,000. This is a part of the California Dream for All program. Okay, and this is for undocumented people who would otherwise qualify in any other way for a loan. The only thing that is keeping them from getting this loan would be the fact that they're undocumented, okay, that they're not necessarily there as permanent citizens. So this is for people that are working, that, actually have income and things like that, just might not be permanent citizens. So $150,000, I mean, if you know real estate in California, okay, definitely in LA, but even in California, period, $150,000 is not going to buy you the worst house on the worst street, But this is going to be up to $150,000 that goes towards the down payment. So they are actually offering money for people who don't even have the 20% for down payment. This is what that loan is. Okay, so they still would qualify for their regular home loan and all that, but this is for the down payment. The home buyer would have to repay the original down payment loan plus a share of the home's increased value upon selling of the property. So they're wanting people to buy homes and stay in the homes. This is not flipping homes, not investment type homes, these are people that are going to be living in the house. These are first time buyers. That's one of the eligibility requirements. They have to be first time buyers, and at least one of the buyers, so like if a couple buys a home together, at least one of those buyers has to be a first generation home buyer. Okay, so it's not just a free for all. People can go and get this money. There are some stipulations. However, they are opening the door for a lot of people that are out there, especially in California. You guys know that there are a lot of undocumented people out there. Okay, coming across the border from Mexico and settling into settling into California. So yeah, this is great for them. California is definitely opening the door and making the immigration situation more comfortable for those that are coming across that border, you guys. But they've always been that way. And when you go to California, and when I go visit home now, it's amazing to me how Mexican things are. My girlfriend Roxanne was just telling me that she went to Knott's Berry Farm, and she was like, girl, it is completely like it's all Latina like inspired. Like they have, they selling the mass for the Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead, and it's like mariachi music all piped throughout Knott's Berry Farm, and it's just all Mexicans. It's margaritas everywhere. It's when you go to the restaurants, it's very much Hispanic, Latino, Mexican inspired there. And I'm just like, whenever I go to LA, if I go south, the more south you go, the more Mexicans you see. Yes, it's really something else. LA is definitely changing, and they're making it comfortable for them to do so. So that is what is going on there. That's it for politics, you guys. Y'all let me know what you think about all that. Let's move on to the next story. All right, you guys, so this story here is going to piss you off because it pissed me off when I read it, and I promise you, some states here in the United States, I don't know what they be watching. Let me just tell you what I'm talking about. So a U.S. federal judge, Charles Simpson, he ruled that Breonna Taylor's boyfriend is responsible for her death. Okay, so you guys know that there were 4 police officers that had went to this house. They went on a bad warrant, okay, meaning that it was a fake warrant, that they were aware that, there were 2 people that prepared the warrants. Their names are Joshua Janes and Kyle Meany. Joshua Janes is a Louisville police detective, and then there is a former police sergeant, Kyle Meany. They are the ones who prepared the warrant, and they were clear that this was a falsified warrant, that they had put information on there that was not true. Namely, they were trying to find this drug dealer. They put on the warrant that the drug dealer was using Breonna Taylor's address as their address when they knew that that person did not really live there. Okay, but they used Breonna Taylor's address, and they actually lied on the warrant and said that they confirmed with the U.S. Postal Service that the person did indeed live there. Okay, but they actually knew that that wasn't true. They even said that a couple of the police officers that went there knew that it wasn't true either. And so we know that when they got to Breonna Taylor's house, that they went in, they hadn't announced who they were. They came in, barged in. They were asleep. This was the middle of the night. So Breonna and her boyfriend were asleep. So when they busted in, they approached the room, and the boyfriend pulled out his gun that he has a license to carry, or a license to have. I don't know if you can carry out there, but he had a license to have this gun, and he actually shot one time and ended up shooting one of the police in his leg. That is when they opened fired and shot, and that's when Breonna Taylor got hit, because I believe that she had gotten up and had walked towards the door, and so she ended up getting shot and killed. Okay, well, the judge has decided that even though they went there on the bad warrant, which means that if the warrant was not existing, they would have not have been in this woman's house. Okay. The judge has said that even though they went on this bad warrant, that there's no link between the bad warrant and Breonna Taylor's death. And that the only thing that set off the chain of events is the fact that the boyfriend shot the police officer in his leg. Okay, yes, I understand. If the police had announced who they were and said, this is the police, we coming in, you know, open up, and if everybody acknowledged that they knew that this was the police, and then the boyfriend decided to pull out a gun anyway and get to shooting, that's one thing. But when nobody knows why you in this house, and you guys are bum rushing this house, and everybody, it's the middle of the night, folks asleep, and this man shoots at somebody in protecting, you know, him and his, how is that his fault? If they would have never gone to the house, there would have never been a reason for anything else to happen. It's called a chain of events for a reason. There has to be the beginning of the chain. The beginning of the chain was the bad fucking warrant. And for the judge to miss that and jump all the way over to the fact that the boyfriend shot at them police officers, you know, I was just like, this is really, really discouraging and just ridiculous. I cannot believe it. If I was Breonna Taylor's mother, I would be livid. The judge also reduced the civil rights violation charge against both James and Meany. And those sentences carried a maximum of life in prison. Okay, the judge diminished those charges all the way down to a misdemeanor. This woman is dead, and you guys got misdemeanors. Again, these are not the ones that were there. These are the ones that prepared the warrant. Now, the boyfriend at first was charged. The boyfriend was charged with attempt of murder to a police officer. Okay, attempt of murder of a police officer. They ended up dropping those charges. And I mean, they had to, because I mean, really, honestly, this whole case, it seems like it should be such an open and shut case. And why is it that we going through all this when it was clear that people were not doing what they were supposed to do to ensure that they were going to the right place in the first place? Now, a spokesperson for the U.S. Justice Department is saying that they are evaluating the findings that the judge had, and that they're going to, you know, figure out what's going to be the next move. The next move is we still need to appeal this shit and try to get somebody needs to pay for this. This woman is dead. Anyway, you guys, there was a third former officer who was involved. Her name is Kelly Goodlet. And Kelly pled guilty to the conspiracy charge and is cooperating with the prosecution to testify against the other two people. Okay, James and Meany. Because her whole thing was that she had already told them that they didn't have enough evidence to connect Taylor, the address or anything, to this drug dealer. So they you know, she tried to warn them. But then when they said that they were moving forward, then she went on and complied and did whatever they did. But she always knew that they were wrong. So now she has decided to work with the prosecution, and she is testifying against the other two. She said that they had a secret meeting after the whole debacle and Breonna Taylor was killed. Her and one of the either James or Meany or both of them, they had a secret meeting, and they decided to, you know, make sure that their stories matched. And then they put out, you know, the whole conversation about they thought that they were going to the drug dealer's house and everything. But it was already known that they knew that that was not true. So I don't know exactly what they thought they were about to do. You know, you knew that that wasn't true, but you still barged into these people's house in the middle of the night and then killed somebody. A mess. Everybody need to go to fucking jail if you ask me. Okay. But yeah, they're trying to see. Now, one of the officers that was on the scene, the Brett Hankerson guy, he was the one that was tried in 2022, and that trial ended in a hung jury. So he is expected to get retried, and I think that trial starts in October. But I think I just recently read that one of the other police officers that was there ended up getting rehired. Am I getting this case mixed up with something else? So many fucking police officers just shooting folks crazy. But I want to say they said that one of the police, or was that for George Floyd? I might be getting these two stories mixed up, because I did read somewhere that there was a police officer that was involved with either one of these cases. I'm not sure, but that did end up getting rehired somewhere else as a police officer. It's amazing. It's amazing that just like that guy who shot Sonia, the lady who called, and then he just shot her in her face. They said that he had so many fucking other police officer positions in different departments, and he still ended up, he was a problem in all these other places, and then he just went to a whole nother department, and then he ended up shooting that lady. The problem with these police officers is they just lose one job in one municipality or one county or one city or whatever, and they just go somewhere else and they get hired, bringing all that fucking baggage with them, bringing all their craziness, mental illness, racial racist beliefs and all that. They bring all that with them and they go somewhere else and they become another department's problem, when really they should be taken care of the first fucking time. You guys don't let me. It's getting my dander is getting up, and I can't be out here just preaching this whole time. But yeah, that case, when I read that, I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. The boyfriend is the reason. Yeah, I really hope they appeal that, because that don't make no good damn sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Okay. Next story. While we sitting here and there's nothing to be happy about, you guys, let me just put this story in here as well, because this is very sad. There was a tire explosion at the Delta hangar. I believe this was on Tuesday. And it ended up killing 2 employees there. Mirko Marwig, who was 58 years old, and Luis Alderando, who was 37 years old. Okay, and it was also another employee who was seriously injured. They haven't released that person's name, but very, very sad. So they said that in the Delta hangar, this is where they do like the maintenance of the tires and the brakes on the planes there. Okay. They said that these tires were not on a plane at the time, but they were disassembling. I guess there's things that you have to do to take apart the tire when you are going to when you're maintaining it. They were taking it apart, and that was when the explosion happened. So I guess these tires are still filled with air. They're not like, what we would see on a regular car, just a tire. There's still air in there, whatever. Anyway, there was an explosion, and these 2 gentlemen ended up getting killed. Very sad. But they said that it happened shortly after 5 a.m. Tuesday morning. It didn't interrupt any, flight schedules, or it didn't interrupt any operation of the airport. However, yeah, Delta was definitely having a sad day that day. The employees were saying, what good people the guys were. And one of them had been an employee and was about to retire, been there 19 years and planning on retiring next year. So yeah, they haven't really said exactly what happened, other than there was a tire explosion, a tire fire. OSHA is definitely working with them. There's an investigation that's going on where they're trying to really pinpoint exactly what happened, and I guess trying to figure out, if everybody was taking advantage of safety measures to make sure something like this didn't happen. What you can bet on and what you can be promised is there's going to be a lawsuit of epic proportions from either one of those guys' family. Even the one that was seriously injured but is still here, yeah, I would imagine that Delta can pretty much bet on having to pay these people's family for this, But those tires are really, really dangerous. Even the tires on the 18-wheelers, I don't even like to drive next to those big tires, because I have seen truck drivers' tires blow and they lose control of the truck and go across not necessarily lose control, but you see them kind of trying to recover and trying to keep their truck on track. I've seen many motorcycle riders getting killed. Mister knows a lot of people that have been killed on bikes because of, you know, just the bad timing of getting on the side of one of these big trucks and the tire blows. Okay, that force of that wind is very strong. You wouldn't think so, but it is. And you got shit flying and everything, so you can just imagine the size of the wheels of those airplanes, how huge they are. You can just imagine that a tire blowing of that size is probably going to cause death, you know, especially if you were right up on it. So my heart does go out to those two gentlemen, the three people that actually, two that were killed, the one that was hurt. Hopefully the one that was hurt is going to recover fully with all of their limbs and things intact, because we still don't know the extent of the injuries of that person. They said it was serious, though, serious injuries. So we're just gonna pray that that person is okay. And then I just need the airlines, like, what is going on with the planes? Child, to keep asking y'all that every week. Ain't nobody told me yet. What is going on with the airlines, the planes? It's just, Lord, every day. I promise you, every day is something. Is it just because we didn't have cameras and we didn't have social media and people weren't reporting these things? I mean, was this stuff happening already and we just didn't know? But it is definitely a lot going on at the airport, at the airplanes, on the planes, underneath the planes, obviously. It's just, yeah. So we just gonna pray for the airlines all together, child, because many of us have to fly. We have to fly. We would like to get there safely. All right, that's it for this video, you guys. Make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxanne.